These chubby guys couldn't give a damn about the stereotypes of a fighter's body.
1 minute 40 seconds.
Trying to swing his way out of it, back up. Right on top of his...
They devour every heavy punch like it's a snack, then mockingly tear apart massive jocks who think their muscles can crush fast food enthusiasts. Brace holders. Welcome to Boxing Space. Here we go. Huggy Bear Barnett, the most eccentric fat guy in gloves, known for earning bonuses for the best performance of the night just because of his wild celebrations. One day, the pumped-up tattoo artist's draft, Jay White, boldly stepped up to challenge the seemingly harmless, chubby guy.
So that may show a little bit of discipline issues on his end.
Steroids are harmful to health, but for White, they went straight to his brain. The cocky musclehead charged at Barnett, throwing punches without a second thought.
He misses with the right. Now he comes in, he's willing to exchange, and there the big guys go.
In response, Huggy Bear lived up to his name, locking his opponent in a deadly embrace.
To get inside and do some nice counter-punching tonight, but you're right, it's a different White.
Barnett gave the cocky White a brutal lesson, sending him into a painful slumber for his arrogance.
Some trouble at the moment, trying to swing his way out of it, back up. Right on top of his Barnett, Barnett's finishing.
FC, Chris, Beast Boy, Barnett!
Meet Bakiraov, the guy who went from delivering food to throwing punches in the MMA cage. From the very start, his opponent was a towering, muscle-bound fighter, forged among the most dangerous warriors of Chechnya, a man called Aliskan. The giant underestimated his opponent, thinking he'd easily send Bakiraov to the ICU, but karma delivered a quick and brutal package from the Chubby courier.
Тот человек, который не будет сдаваться точно и будет драться до конца.
Что он и делает, пытается даже зарубиться.
Как уже сказали, большое потомство прошлого. Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой.
Bakiraov showed no mercy, humiliating the jock over and over, sending his bulky body crashing to the ground to scrub the floor. In the end, the fat guy publicly humiliated the cocky giant, transforming himself into a delivery man for corpses.
Bakiraov Bigjan из красного угла.
Eric Esch, aka Butterbean, is the face of the chubby fighters, splitting his time between the boxing ring and buffets.
Opponent in front of him can nail him a little bit, like Funmaker.
The chubby guy effortlessly defeated professional fighters in the ring, winning the hearts of millions of viewers and proving that this is what a true athlete should look like.
Right now, it's just a sideshow. Big ripping shots by Butterbean. Down goes Lindecker.
Years passed, and the aging Eric Esch became a mere shadow of his former self, leaving the boxing ring for the MMA cage. In 2007, the veteran was used as a stepping stone for the hungry lion, James the Colossus Thompson.
Unless I pulled open guard. When I say stop,
The Colossus, with his terrifying physique and equally intimidating gaze, was supposed to steamroll his chubby opponent.
He's covering up well.
But apparently, before the fight, Butterbean forgot to fuel up on spicy wings, which triggered his fierce hunger. How else could you explain the veteran's savage attack on the colossal titan?
He's probably going to use his left jab a lot because that's a big if, and I think that there you go. There it is. Oh, that's about it. I mean, that's about it. Butterbean has done it. Thompson still looking for the takedown.
In the end, Butterbean wiped out the overconfident jock, showing that his cholesterol armor was far stronger than any muscle. This New Zealand madman devours punches like their lunch, only to then ruthlessly claim his opponent's souls. Mark Hunt, the Samoan miracle, became the top supplier of bodies to the K1 morgue with his deadly fists. At the turn of the century, he faced his toughest challenge yet, Jerome Lebanner.
Success there, Nathan, so his hand skills are going to be looking...
The fearless gladiator of today, with the physique of a Greek god and no room for the word surrender in his vocabulary, rose to become one of the most elite legal executioners. The French Tower was already a kickboxing legend, while Hunt had just switched from bar brawls to the ring. Fans packed the Tokyo Dome, waiting for the Samoan's burial. With a massive size advantage and his long-range strikes at the ready, Lee Banner was already preparing his victory banner. The Super Samoan's warrior spirit wouldn't let the chubby guy give up. Throwing his game plan away, Hunt started a wild hunt for the Frenchman. The jock was shocked by the chubby guy's determination, and after taking a barrage of lightning-fast punches, he turned and fled in desperation. In the end, Hunt mercilessly knocked out the Titan with a punch that's not for the faint of heart. At the end of the last millennium, Butterbean collected his opponent's scalps like baseball cards. But at that very moment, his path was blocked by the chemist's top project, Huggy Beard. It was expected that this giant would devour Butterbean like a planned cheat meal. And as soon as the referee gave the signal, Beard started turning ash to ash with his fists. Afterwards, seemingly cocky enough in his victory, he brazenly started taunting Butterbean.
Look at the load up that time. Bean says, come on.
But the king of the four-rounders wasn't about to tolerate this cocky scumbag.
Just a little taste of what you're going to be able to see. Butterbean opens right up. Bean was doing a little hot dogging there. Stay out the way, especially guys like Bean.
And after refueling his tank with chocolate doping, Eric, like a cleric, began teaching the rat good manners.
He wanted to go 3 or 4 rounds with McNeely, and still managed to get him out of there. Bean, no nonsense here. Beard slapping a little
Then
bit.
Butterbean one-tapped Beard's beard with a precise punch.
Oh, the big right hand. And that dropped him. And I mean dropped him. Bean's been waiting for that shot. And there was nothing fluke about that.
In 1995, Eric Ashe, who had only entered the professional ring a year before, faced a real giant named Pat Jackson. The audience feared that this titan would run over Butterbean like a lawnmower over an overgrown grass.
We did over in State Line, Nevada, at Buffalo Bills. And in truth...
And as soon as the bell rang, the giant started turning Eric's fans' worst fears into reality with his fists.
Jackson stood up there. You can't miss the Butterbean with a jab. Now, he says he's working on that a little bit. Well, he might be.
However, Jackson's punches were no more painful to Butterbean than mosquito bites.
At all. I mean, he could land a right hand as he did earlier, but he could
Try a left hook to the body, then go upstairs. Now he's uppercutting.
The interesting thing, Dave, is he hasn't really hurt
And
you.
in the blink of an eye, Butterbean tried to slap Pat like a gnat.
And they wanted Pat Jackson to stand in front of him, but guess what?
Seemingly starved for too long, the chubby guy lost his aim and accidentally knocked out the referee with his hammer.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, exactly. These are dramatic shots he walked into. Boy, that's combat pain right there.
Well, the fight has stopped, not because Terry Wood got...
And the pathetic giant, realizing he would be next, ran away like a spineless coward.
And a technical knockout for Butterbean.
Absolutely every boxing fan is aware of Humpty Dumpty's undisputed dominance in the royal sport. However, Butterbean, unsatisfied with the world of sweet science, like Galactus, set his sights on the world of MMA. And in 2007, Eric Ashe decided to showcase his strength by stepping into the cage with a true monster, James Thompson. This steroid-fueled giant seeing no worthy opponent in the soda-fueled Eric, decided to brazenly provoke him.
Just want you to sit back, close your eyes, think of McDonald's, and it'll all be over.
However, he didn't realize that only one thing provokes Butterbean, and that's his 6th late-night serving of French fries.
He's probably going to use his left jab a lot because that.
And as soon as the fight began, Butterbean blasted the cocky challenger's jaw with his cholesterol-fueled rocket launcher, teaching him an unforgettable lesson.
Oh, that's about it. I mean, that's about it. Butterbean has done it. Thompson still looking for the champion.
In his anniversary fight, Eric Ashe faced steroid-fueled Voldemort, named Paul Springer. Right after the fight started, the strongman instinctively tried to lift Butterbean like a barbell. However, Eric turned out to be way too heavy, sending Paul straight into an hour-long nap. At the beginning of his career, Eric Ashe faced a terrifying machine named Doug Norris. It seemed that this giant was destined to be a bodybuilding star, but for some reason, he chose boxing instead.
He won several regional tournaments.
And as soon as the referee gave the signal, the 300-pound Saitama switched into serious mode and started dismantling the jock.
They clashed heads, and that's what hurt Doug Norris. I was joking, but that was the problem.
Butterbean, the nickname, and going all over the place.
However, the nasty giant, seeing no other way to win, decided to use dirty moves, punching Butterbean after the bell.
Well, as Butterbean...
But Ashe wasn't going to tolerate this cocky rascal, and in the next moment, he devoured Doug like a hot dog with a single punch.
Well, he never should have slugged with him. He knows that now. It's over.
In 1999, Eric faced another dildo builder, Patrick Graham.
Butterbean here in Butterbean's house.
However, after the bell, Eric started devouring Graham like a ham.
Vaporized.
With every punch, Butterbean clearly proved why he was called the king of the 4-rounders.
From Butterbean now. The 10-rounders, he might have to give up his big wrestling payday.
Then, Butterbean sent Patrick straight back to Bikini Bottom with his signature punch.
And he winks at George while you're talking to him, and then knocks Graham through the ropes with a body punch.
4-rounders, Butterbean.
And this giant scumbag was so blinded by his cockiness that he decided to brazenly insult Eric before the fight.
Hey, this is King of Rock and Roll, and I like to watch Tuesday night fights and eat Butterbeans. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And the festival of his nasty insults at Butterbean didn't stop even after the fight started.
Look down. We're not having to stare down. There's actually a tendency to throw a jab, and both of them posing in there. Not quite sure what Butterbean's going to do. Already is tagged him with a left hook.
However, such pathetic antics only fueled Ashe's fury, and with a single punch, he smashed the enormous giant like an odorous ant.
Is his own the left hand, and
Davis wondering where he is.
his left hand.
Knockout, Butterbean!
In 1996, Butterbean crossed swords with a truly enormous Goliath straight out of a fairy tale, Jonathan Whitfield. This Goliath surpassed Eric in every anthropometric advantage, except for weight.
Of his 7 fights, but comes in and says...
And once the fight started, Whitfield, using his reach like a whiz draw, began shooting Butterbean from long range.
But you're starting to see now a little more of the... And Ed, you were talking about Butterbean trying to get that jab.
As the target was so massive, every shot landed precisely.
In his last fight,
People that look like Butterbean.
Ashe refused to stay in debt, and soon he completely turned the tide of the fight, and the giant with it.
Hey, you want to be famous? Ed,
I called it!
he has had a busy week. He fought, well, we're coming down to the conclusion of third. Good punch.
Not willing to drag out the fight, Butterbean sent his dessert straight to the bottom of the 4-sided plate.
Joe L. Scott rising young heavyweight.
This time, Eric Ashe faced the massive George Limburger, who was destined to end the Chubby Guy's win streak.
If you jab against Butterbean, you will...
However, it seems that night Butterbean was in a rush to get to McDonald's before closing, and he decided to devour Limburger like a hamburger along the way.
Left hook and landed flush on the jaw.
Oh, that was a very wicked...
Vyacheslav Datsic was born in 1980, and from a young age he was wild, constantly getting into fights, racking up 16 concussions, and landing himself on the police radar for his aggressive behavior. At 18, however, he discovered the world of sports and learned that it was a place where he could maim people for free. Datsic had absolutely no technique, but his raw physical strength was off the charts, earning him the nickname Ginger Tarzan. Just 1 year later, he made his professional debut against the future UFC champion Andrei Orlovsky, known as Pitbull. Unlike a wild Russian boar, Orlovsky had practiced martial arts his entire life, making him far more experienced and technically sound.
Giving his other opponent...
The fight kicked off with both warriors exchanging thunderous blows. However, Orlovsky, built in the gym, proved much stronger than a street brawler.
It's like, here I come, go. I wonder who his crew is.
All those scrappy street fighting skills turned out to be useless, and Datsic ended up looking more like a giant punching bag. Throughout the first round, Pitbull tormented his opponent and completely dominated Tarzan.
And a big kick by Orlovsky. Wow! They're slugging it out here!
But in a split second, everything changed for Orlovsky. The monster summoned every bit of strength in one colossal punch and sent Orlovsky straight to the land of Morpheus. After crushing such a powerful opponent in his debut, Datsic set off confidently to conquer the heights of MMA. But instead of enjoying his success, in his free time between fights, the crazy Russian was busy robbing stores. He was quickly arrested, declared insane by experts, and locked up in a psychiatric hospital. Not long after, he escaped and illegally made his way to Norway. There, law enforcement promptly intercepted him, declared him sane, and sent him back to Russia to serve his sentence. After spending 9 long years in prison, Datsic finally regained his freedom in 2019. And the moment Vyacheslav stepped out, he jumped right back into professional fighting, because the best thing he ever did was beat people up. Though he no longer looked nearly as imposing as in his youth, and had come to resemble a vicious troll, he still managed to pack explosive power in his fists. He confidently dismantled every opponent, though his insane temper often made itself known. Like a wild beast on the hunt, Tarzan charged into the ring with a ferocity that was simply unmatched. But eventually, the only one who could truly put an end to this mad fighter was none other than the blood brother of the legendary Fedor Emelianenko. Legendary Russian sports icon, Alexander Emelianenko, was once the undeniable favorite, having faced legends like Mirko Krokop, Fabricio Verdum, and Josh Barnett. It looked as if the wild fighter had no chance at all. But then, the bell rang, and within just 10 seconds, Tarzan sent that sports legend packing for early retirement. Since even the technically gifted fighters couldn't survive a single round with Tarzan, the organizers decided to give him an equally insane opponent. Meet Geronimo dos Santos, a hulking giant known as the Ring Chef, because he turns every opponent into a meat patty. At the press conference, the cocky Dos Santos tried to break his opponent's spirit by intimidating him, but he never expected that Datsic's level of madness was on another planet. These two wild warriors were about to settle who was the fiercest and most intimidating of them all. In the end, Datsic showed Dos Santos who ruled at the top of the food chain. Dos Santos did manage to get back on his feet for a moment, convinced he still had a chance. But Datsic swiftly buried all those hopes. Dos Santos's pride was completely erased, and he cowardly refused to continue the fight. In that bout, Datsic demonstrated to Dos Santos who the real lion of the pride was, and who was just a cowardly kitten. Vyacheslav Datsic is the most fearsome, ferocious, and powerful fighter out there. But behind that intimidating exterior lies an incredibly kind heart, one that melts for his beloved daughter and wife. To secure a bright future for his little girl, this crazy but loving father set out to conquer the entire fighting world. Next up for Vyacheslav was the great Antonio Silva from Brazil. The Brazilian fighter, nicknamed Bigfoot for the enormous size of his limbs, was a former UFC fighter who had, not long ago, dismantled legends like Fedor Emelianenko, Travis Brown, and Alistair Overeem. But all that glory evaporated the moment the bell sounded. Datsic delivered a carnival of pain and terror on the Brazilian. So completely outclassing him that he even mocked his opponent like a helpless child. Not even Bigfoot's gigantic legs could help him escape the wrath of the ginger monster. Tarzan pummeled Silva as if he'd stolen his bottle of vodka. Datsic hit so hard that he completely shattered Silva's head. Even though his body might still have been standing, Silva's soul had already left this world. And to cap off the spectacle, Datsic finished the show with a traditional beastly roar. By 2022, the Ginger Tarzan was terrifying all of Russia, but he was missing just one thing to cement his greatness: an official title. For that, he stepped into the ring for a heavyweight championship bout in one of Russia's top organizations. However, he had to face none other than the former UFC fighter and legend, Jeff Monson. Jeff, an elite fighter known as Snowman, had effortlessly destroyed every opponent in America and Russia. In 2018, backed by Putin's support, Monson even became a Russian deputy. Then, in 2022, Warrior of Putin and the Warrior of Beer met in the ring. Datsic immediately showcased his acrobatic skills, unleashing a series of fiery strikes on the Snowman. Occasionally, the Russian official tried to fight back, but the former convict turned Monson into a non-person. Soon after, Vyacheslav openly demonstrated that for him, Jeff posed less threat than a child's toy. The Ginger Tarzan proved to Monson that it was time to quit the fighting arena and focus on politics. In the end, Datsic won decisively by unanimous decision, capturing his first title.
So, friends, this is the end of our video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This was Boxing Game. Thanks for watching.